Some customers, we understand, still face some issues due to property damage or inaccessible locations and stuff like that. But the JPSCo, we understand, is working to resolve these problems. This morning, we get the 411, as we like to say, or in Jamaica, the 114, from the Director of Corporate Communications at the JPSCo, Winsome Callum, who is back with us as our guest. Good morning, Ms. Callum. How are you today?
Hi, good morning, Richard D. I am well, thank you, and good morning to all your listeners.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. It has been quite an experience over the last several weeks as you put in the effort to try to get everyone back on your grid with their electricity supply. It must have also been quite pleasing to you that the promise that you made for August 31 was actually brought forward to some of those customers inside of St. Elizabeth. How pleasing was that to you?
Well, you're correct. It has been a challenging journey, not just for JPS and our workers who've been really putting out a lot these past few weeks, but it has also been very difficult for our customers. I have spent some time in St. Elizabeth in the last month, and it was really, really difficult to see the challenges that people face, not just with the absence of electricity, but the absence of water, the damage to their property, businesses coming to a standstill because of the delay in the recovery process. So it was really very rewarding for us all, customers and the JPS team members, when on Wednesday last week we were able to get supply to the last of our customers in St. Elizabeth. So our CEO announced on Thursday that all the power lines have been energized. All the lines, the distribution lines in the parish has been energized, and that is correct. What he did say, however, is that there may be a handful of customers who would still be without supply because of damage to their meter stands, their pot heads, or other damage to their property. So we are trying to work with those customers as best as possible, but in most cases, they need to get an electrician to check on what's happening on their properties.
What about customers who are in some area that is sort of inaccessible? Do you have a lot of those?
Not many. I went to a community in close to Holland on Saturday. It was what we saw was a very swampy area. A lot of water had settled, and that posed a challenge for the vehicles to go across with the material to repair the line. But that reminded me of the fact that our lines in some cases have to be relocated. Our CEO spoke about the rebuilding process. It's not just restoration. It's not just giving power to the people in St. Elizabeth. We literally have to rebuild and relocate some lines. So that particular area that I saw was a good example of where our poles might need to be relocated, because what we saw was the poles in several feet of water. And if this is something that happens every time it rains heavily or there is some severe weather, then you know that the supply to our customers will be interrupted, and the network is not very, very secure, because you see the poles looking as if they're about to sink or fall over because of the effect of the swampy area. The soil is really soft, dangerous for vehicles to go across. You actually see animals going across, and you see the depth of the water that they have to go through. So we do have a few areas like that, Richard B., and we're working to address those. Not many,
yes,
but over the next few months, what we will actually be doing. Now that we've gotten everybody back, we have to do some deep work, which requires a lot more time and effort. But the priority was to get the electricity to the customers.
Have you set a timeline on this rebuilding of sections of the network damaged by the hurricane, and have you also put a cost to it?
No, not yet. We're still working through the actual cost, and it will take a couple of months.
Yes.
At a minimum. We will probably see this taking us through to the end of the year, but I can't give you a precise time right now.
Are there any plans, Ms. Callum, to implement any new, shall we say, technologies or systems to enhance grid resilience and faster restoration times in the event of future outages of a similar kind?
Well, the reality, Richard B., is that every time we have a system like this, it gives JPS an opportunity, as it does with any other utility, an opportunity to make the system better. So the rebuild process is about increasing the resilience of the system. It's not necessarily new technology, because what you're seeing are poles, lines, and even though we have technology that allows for greater efficiency in detecting outages and responding to outages, you will always have the kind of infrastructure that we see with our poles and lines. And technology will not necessarily replace those. So our priority is to, one, make sure the poles are planted in spaces where they will not be subject to swampy soil environment, and two, to ensure that the lines that are now stretched across country and through ravines and some serious gullies and difficult terrain. So what we're trying to do is ensure that the lines, we have shorter spans of lines, they're not going miles across ravines and so on, and ensure that they are built in such a way that if a section of the line is damaged, it does not take out an entire community. So when you rebuild it, you build it in such a way that you can isolate areas, so smaller areas are impacted rather than larger areas.
I believe I heard, I can't say I heard all of what you did, but I'm sure I heard an ad or something where you partnered with some like hardware stores as you try to sort of help those persons in St. Elizabeth to build back, so to speak. Was some of that kind of partnership going on for customers that were affected?
Yes, we everything depends on partnerships with JB. So we recognized that the communities were really badly affected. It wasn't just about electricity. People lost the roof, their homes, furniture, a lot of damage was done. So we partnered with 3 hardware stores, Arc Manufacturing, Camric Hardware, and Levon Electrical, who gave discounts to their customers.
Okay.
And on Saturday, we were in St. Elizabeth, in Santa Cruz, and we spoke to persons who were shopping at Levon and Camric, and the stories they told of the damage that they're experiencing. People were shopping for sheetrock, zinc, and paint and stuff. So we were thankfully in a position to give gift cards, gift certificates to quite a few of the shoppers to help to further alleviate the stress of the rebuilding. So at a very individual level, you saw persons really trying to fix their homes. Some were doing it in bits and pieces because they couldn't afford to do it all at once. One lady showed me quite a few pictures of the damage to her son's house. The roof was just almost totally gone, and when that happens, everything inside the house gets damaged. So the stories were painful, but the good thing is the resilience of the people of that parish. They were very upbeat and very optimistic that, we can do this. We just have to do it. Mm-hmm. And it was a privilege for JPS to have been on location at Camric Hardware and Levon Electrical to be able to support persons who came in with the gift vouchers.
And is that, shall we say, offer still in place? And you can tell us, and also whether or not there are other resources available to customers, especially those who are struggling to repair or replace damaged electrical equipment to their properties. Is that offer still on?
Well, the partnership ended on Saturday, August 31. Mm-hmm. There, I know that the hardware stores will exercise some flexibility, but I can't speak on their behalf. Mm-hmm. That particular promotion that we had ended on Saturday, August 31. One of the things that we were very keen on doing during the restoration to make sure that our students were able to go to school was to get all of the schools in the parish energized. As you know, the new academic year starts this week, and last week a lot of schools were in a frenzy trying to do last-minute repairs. Some of them are still not ready, but JPS worked alongside the Ministry of Education. We got the list of all the schools in the parish, and we double-checked. We were calling all the schools to make sure that none was overlooked. There was no school that was exposed in terms of not having electricity for the start of the school year. And I'm happy to say that all the schools got that supply. We had a couple of schools, maybe about 3, that needed to do repairs on their own property. One school had a pole that needed to be replanted. One institution had some other electrical damage that needed to be taken care of. So we're working alongside these institutions, and we're really happy that we were able to get the power back in time for the start of the school year.
Wonderful news. Your parting shot, your final words this morning to all those customers, many of whom were inconvenienced, waiting for their electricity supplies to return. What do you want to say to them in closing this morning?
Well, first of all, GB, I want to thank our customers. I want to thank our customers in St. Elizabeth as well as the rest of the island. Now, when you go into the communities, what we found was that even though the challenges were there, the people in St. Elizabeth were very understanding. They saw our linemen working. They saw the manual output, the demand on the team members, and they were very understanding. Yes, they were frustrated because it was taking so long, but they were understanding. So I just want to say thanks to the people of St. Elizabeth and our customers all across the island. The hurricane season is still young, and we, on our side, we are doing everything we can to make sure that the grid is resilient, that we are able to, we're in a position to respond as quickly as possible, because there will be outages. There are no two ways about it. Once we have a weather system like a hurricane or a storm, there will be outages. We have a lot of lessons learned from this particular experience with Hurricane Beryl, and we are working to ensure that we make the grid as resilient as we can, but also we place ourselves in a position to respond quickly when we have a hurricane.
Right, yes. Thank you so much, Ms. Callum, and you have a wonderful day today.
And thank you. The very same to you, Richard B.
All right. Much appreciated. A chat there with the Director of Corporate Communications at the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPSCo,